If you didn't watch the video I posted on Monday, this is a continuation of that video where I'm using fabrics from a course I took at the Schweinfurth Art Center in Auburn, New York back in May. Taking some of the pieces I had laid out on the floor and now actually cutting them down to size, and this video is going to show me stitching them together and assembling a piece that should have been approximately 3 feet by 6 feet. And to incorporate some of the elements that I wanted, we're going to find out it's a little bit longer than I anticipated. Through this, I am pinning, sewing. I go back and forth with an iron, and some of these pieces I am stitching together already connected to the larger piece, so kind of out of sequence. If you're a quilting purist, this might frustrate the heck out of you, which thankfully speeding it up makes it not as evident what I was doing. But I'm able to kind of mess around with this fabric. I took some pieces apart, put them back together, and I'm trying to really frame the pieces that were the full florals with this pearl or bead patterning that I had also created. Those were screen printed. The flower petals, the circles, and those beads that are kind of like strings of beads were all screen printed on the fabric. That fabric had been, I would call, painted beforehand with dyes and a fluid medium that allowed me to really get those sort of ephemeral watercolor textures behind the images I then screen printed on. And over the course of this class, we were taught different methods of printing on fabric, and screen printing wound up being my most favorite. And this was mostly just, we had a screen and we had pieces of Tyvek that we cut in the shapes that we would want to be the printed element, and then used the dyes to print onto the fabrics. So no photography exposure or anything like that. It was just Tyvek that was then kind of stuck to the screen itself, just through the process of spreading dye through the screen. It was a really enjoyable process. One I did hesitate to participate in at the start, but once I played around with some of the other techniques and realized that they did not give the same feeling of like a clean print, I chose to go back there. And this is me trying to find where what pieces of that fabric would really start to close off that corner of the piece. And now I'm stitching it in. Again, if you're a purist, you're a quilter, you're probably wincing as you see me piecing this together kind of ad hoc as I'm making my way through. And so this is, I'm just kind of ironing and folding it, and now this is that full piece. Here it is on my fireplace chimney, a little bit wider view. And then that's the end of it that I don't like. But I want to take, so this is an image that I used. I took this into Corel Paint and took the top of the piece and moved it to the bottom where I had kind of done that patchwork element in the previous image. And I think this is what I'm going to attempt to do next, is take it off of the chimney and then cut the top darker band and move it down to the bottom. And we're going to see how that looks in the next installment.